हेलो एवरीवन और आज के इस एक्सप्लेनर में आपका स्वागत है। If you're a class 10 student totally stressing out over your civics syllabus or just a curious citizen wondering how a massive country like ours actually functions without descending into total chaos, well, आप बिल्कुल सही जगह पर हैं। आज हम एक डीप डाइव विश्लेषण करने वाले हैं about how government power is structured, divided and balanced. We are breaking down the core features of federalism. ये एक ऐसा कॉन्सेप्ट है जो डेमोक्रेटिक पावर शेयरिंग की एब्सोल्यूट फाउंडेशन है। तो चलिए, let's decode exactly how a nation is run.
Here is our quick roadmap for today. First up, introduction to federal levels. Then, feature highlights. Number 3, protecting fundamental rights. Fourth, police and jurisdiction. And finally, the federal balance.
Okay, Section 1, Introduction to Federal Levels.
So, who really holds the power to change the rules of a country? I mean, if you're watching the evening news debates, you'd probably think the prime minister or the president holds all the cards, right? But think about it. अगर एक single group या इंसान जब चाहे rules बदले, then your freedoms are incredibly fragile. It's super dangerous. And honestly, that exact danger is why federalism was invented in the very first place.
The absolute best solution here is federalism. It's basically a system structured across multiple levels of government rather than just resting entirely in a single central authority. You can think of it like a massive multi-story building instead of just a single tent. We have a central union government handling national affairs up in the capital, but we also have state governments handling regional affairs, और फिर local levels भी हैं, like our panchayats. This distribution of power is literally the foundational rule we're looking at today. It ensures that power top पर होल्डेड नहीं है, but rather it's spread out so we can actually govern crores of people effectively.
Moving on to Section 2, Feature Highlights.
Now, this whole constitutional blueprint relies on very specific numbered rules. CBSE Feature 1 outlines the strict division of powers, Feature 2 focuses on clearly defined government roles, and Feature 6 deals with specific jurisdictions. Think about the union list and state list you probably studied in school. By strictly numbering and defining these features, our federal system guarantees that no single group can just claim total control over the whole shebang. It's a meticulously organized system of checks and balances.
But what's really interesting here is the heavy emphasis on the second feature. ये पूरी तरह से clarity के बारे में है, ensuring that absolutely everyone is informed about what the government actually has to do. Basically, it's not a secret club. The assigned roles and duties of each level of government are clearly spelled out and communicated. And why does this matter so much? Well, because if a state government doesn't know exactly where its job ends and the union government's job begins, you are going to get total administrative chaos. Clarity is literally the glue that holds this entire federal structure together.
All right, Section 3, Protecting Fundamental Rights.
See, in a purely unitary system, the central government is the absolute boss, period. But in a federal setup, यहाँ picture थोड़ी अलग है. Neither the central government nor the other state or local levels operate in total isolation, especially when we're talking about massive, foundational changes to the country's laws. They basically act as counterweights to one another.
So the most absolutely crucial point to take away is this. Your fundamental rights cannot be changed by just one level of government. Think about how incredibly important that is for a second. Whether it's your freedom of speech, equality before the law, या फिर right to education, these fundamental rights are locked in. A central government cannot just wake up one random day and decide to erase them on its own. No way. It strictly requires the agreement and participation of other levels of government. This means your basic rights are heavily shielded from any sudden unilateral changes. Which brings us to Section 4, Police and Jurisdiction. Our constitutional blueprint specifically highlights feature number 6. Honestly, it's kind of fascinating how constitutions literally number their rules step by step, just to leave absolutely zero room for ambiguity. So, the sixth feature clearly dictates the specific jurisdiction for the police. In any federal system, law and order is a massive, massive responsibility. And this sixth feature clarifies exactly how police powers are handled and divided across the board. Usually, iska matlab ye hota hai that day-to-day policing falls under the jurisdiction of the state government. Just think about it. What happens when a local police force handles a simple neighborhood issue versus, say, deploying a national army? Localized law enforcement understands the community so much better. It's honestly a perfect example of a specific duty being assigned to a specific level of government just to maximize efficiency and accountability.
And finally, Section 5, the federal balance.
According to the blueprint we've been looking at, managing this vast structure sometimes requires a bit of specialized administration, like establishing central zones and appointing commissioners. अब इसका क्या मतलब है? Well, it means that while states handle their own affairs, the central structure can designate very specific zones, maybe for high security, economic development, or just really complex administration, and they can appoint commissioners to oversee them. But wait, this doesn't destroy federalism at all. Actually, it's a smart tool right within the blueprint to ensure that highly sensitive areas are managed smoothly, all while still perfectly maintaining the overall balance of power.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground today, unpacking all the core features of a federal blueprint. But before we wrap up, I really want to leave you with this final, incredibly important question. How do these structural rules of federalism protect your daily personal freedoms? Seriously, think about it. The division of power, the crystal clarity of roles, the fact that your fundamental rights require multi-level consensus just to be touched, and of course, the localized control of police. These aren't just some dry civics textbook facts to blindly memorize for your board exams. These are the literal mechanics that keep a democracy breathing and keep us, its citizens, free. To आगे से जब भी आप news देखें, ponder that real-world impact. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking questions, and I'll see you next time.